Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My today's presentation from the literature of Victorians is on the marriage thematic study of Thomas Hardy's Jude the Obscure. This is my information, and the content we are going to deal is existence of marriage in society, marriage in Victorian era, Hardy's personal experience of marriage, marriage in Jude the Obscure, Hardy about the institution of marriage, marriage in contemporary time. We will start with how the marriage was introduced in the society. Most of the anthropologists believe that in the ancient time, in the time of the cavemen, men used to have the relationship with any women they wish. Then as a result, women gives a birth to a child, and the child is only becomes a responsibility of a single woman. No man is involved in bringing and brought up of a child. Later, the male must have realized that they should take a responsibility of a child born by them and given birth by a lady with whom they had a relationship. And further, they have decided to take a responsibility of a child and a lady. And it we can see that it is like in today's time we are adopting a village, that the particular people or a particular city or a institution will adopt a village and take care of the village. We see that marriage institution is started in the same way, that they have decided to take care of a lady and the child that is born by them. And we can say that the institution of marriage uh, uh, came in the society like this. Also, we see that in a betrothal ceremony, that is the engagement ceremony in the Greece, the father would hand a daughter to a male or a man to whom his daughter is going to be married. The words are like, "I pledge my daughter for the purpose of producing legitimate offspring." This says that I am giving you my daughter to uh, increase or bring your child and to inherit your family further. And they are passing a woman or a girl from father, a man, to a husband, a man, like an object. This becomes that institution of marriage is passing of a woman. Then, as we are going to discuss the theme of marriage from Jude the Obscure, we need to understand how were the marriages and the situation of women in marriages in Victorian age. We see that in Victorian society, the views on marriage and the role of women in life were very much rigid. Women had only one occupation, and that was reproduction. Women had no right to give divorce to the man, even whatever the man is doing, adultery or abusing or domestic violence. Women was covered with the domestic spheres, that she had to always care about family, kitchen, child, husband. The Victorian men and women married, the all rights and privileges of the women were taken by husband. Wife had to do everything what husband wants and wishes her to do. It seems like this marriage is a mutual decision, but later it becomes like a contract, that it is a contract that wife will follow a husband. Very limited privileges were given to women in the Victorian age. Under the law, that is common law doctrine of coverture, under that, women used to lose all the independence what she has as a single woman, and loses her own single personality and becomes a covered woman. She gets covered under the personality of a husband. The divorce indifferences were also there in men and women. A man can sue for the divorce to the wife. A husband can divorce the wife by only one petition, that she is having another extramarital affair or having any other intimacy or a physical relationship. but women cannot sue a petition for the divorce to a husband. Even after husband is doing adultery or domestic violence, abusing, molestation, whatever the husband is doing, women don't have a right to divorce a man. But later, in the Matrimonial Cause Act of 1923, the equal grounds for the divorce were given to women also. Now we see that what were the Hardy's personal experience in the marriage. Hardy fell in love with Emma when he went for the architectural mission, and they got married. Later, the Emma died, and it gave a traumatic effect to the Hardy. Then Hardy is marrying to his secretary Florence. The age difference was large between them. Florence was 39 years old while Hardy was 70 years old. But Hardy was always preoccupied with the thoughts of Emma, and he started writing. When we are looking at the marriages in the Jude the Obscure, we find there the different types of marriages are there. Jude is having first marriage takes place is between the Jude and Arabella. Arabella is asking Jude to marry her because she is pregnant with Jude's child and and they get marriage, and then in further life they get an issue in their compatibility in their married life, and Arabella decides to move out of the marriage. She goes to Australia to her parents. In Australia, Arabella is having a second marriage without divorce. Here, Jude is moving for the further studies. There, he is meeting to Sue Bridehead. She is Jude's cousin, and they fall in love. When they are in love, Jude is not uh, talking about the first marriage to Sue. Later, when he is confessing about the first marriage with Arabella, Sue gets angry and decides to marry Phillotson. Then they both get married. Then once it happens that Jude and Sue are bridehead is having a one spending one night together. They are not having anything physical or any relationship, but they just spend the time. It brings questions to their relationship, which were asked by Phillotson. Later, Sue talks to Phillotson that she wants to spend life with Jude, and then Jude and Sue are having a illegal relationship in eyes of society. They are loving each other, they are spending their time with each other, living their life without marriage, which was not acceptable in this society. Here here in the further slide, we are seeing that what are the Hardy's views about the institution of the marriage, and we will connect with the marriages in the novel, and we will see that how Hardy is trying to satirize the situation of men and women who are in love, and men and women who are forced in marriage and are said to live together. So now moving towards the Hardy's view, we see that Hardy is not against the marriage, but he is against the idea that after marriage, women and men cannot change or cannot change their idea. If they are tired of the partner, they are not able to change the contract. That is irrevocable contract. It is inchangeable. That if you are married, you have to stay with that person. And Hardy is against this idea. He says that it is illogical to force two people to vow to love each other. If we see that in marriage, the men and women are loving or not loving, they are forced, they have to. And the most idea that is said to men and women is love grows after marriage. If it grows or not, but it is said by the society that it Hardy seems to be saying that marriage cannot be solely defined by passion and lust. It must be grounded by something real. That if you are having a lust, passion, attraction, then you should not go for a marriage. Here we can also interpret that Hardy is trying to say that in a marriage, men and women should not have should not be same. Like it's not necessary that they have a same class, are from same atmosphere. The necessary thing is men and women joining or not in the marriage should have equal ideology and same ideology. It is also seen in the novel Far from the Madding Crowd that Bathsheba is marrying to Troy, and she is getting married to Troy because Troy is flattering her, and she gets attracted to Troy, and they get into the knot of the marriage. Later in the novel, then at the last, Bathsheba is staying with Og, and they are having a long relationship. The relationship is lasting forever. The reason is their ideologies are same. They have a same respect for each other. This is what Hardy is trying to say, that if you are, even if you are not married, but if you are understanding each other, loving each other, and having respect for each other, then the marriage knot can be tied. Here we can conclude by saying that Hardy is telling that the marriage should be taken practically. If they want to they should be united by marriage. If marriage, in order to enjoy physical pleasures of relationship in a socially acceptable way. However, if two people should grow apart, if two people are not enjoying their relationship and companionship, they should get apart, and it should be a practical course. They should not think what society will feel. They should think of themselves and decide in a practical way. Here we are also seeing that there is a poem published in 1854, Angel in the House, by Coventry Petmore. In this poem, Coventry is describing which type of wife is needed in the Victorian age. What is an ideal wife of a Victorian age? And Virginia Woolf is describing the angel as immensely sympathetic, charming, and unselfish. She excelled in the difficult arts of family life. She sacrificed herself daily. In short, she was so constituted that she never had a mind, but preferred to sympathize always with the minds and wishes of others, wishes of the family members. Above all, she was pure. Her purity was supposed to be her chief beauty. Purity was supposed to be chief beauty means she should not have any relationship with any other person else than her husband. In Victorian age, we have also seen that many female writers have came forward. New women came further to come out from all the restrictions they were having and to stand for themselves. Virginia Woolf was a very great representative of that group, and she was unshakable. She, in the lecture of Women's Service League in 1941, she said, "Killing the angel in the house was a part of an occupation of a women writer." The above paragraph is describing who is angel. Wife should be like an angel, handling everything with a magic, and it is occupation of a writer to bring out the women from all these prevailing restrictions. Now the question is, are marriages important in contemporary era still? As we see that the evolution of marriage, institution of marriage came in the society, that a man is taking a responsibility of a woman and taking welfare of the women, as women are weak. But in today's society, are women so weak that they will need a help of a man to support? The majority of women are weak, but they are growing. The ratio of women who are independent is increasing in the today's era. So it is not, but women are trained. What is happening in contemporary era? Marriage is not necessary today, but still women and girls are trained that how they have to behave after marriage. This is the training given in the foremost way, not the education, but the training to be a wife. The choice is not given that do you want to marry or not. The directly training is provided to be a wife. Various marriages are seen today, but letting down of women, not complete independence, and social mores are still stones to be broken. There are female who are coming out from the marriage when they are not enjoying the marriage, but still the women are not completely independent to take their own decisions. They always think what her family will go through if she is divorcing, but the change is going on still. Now today we see the TV serials and the movies are always reflecting what is going in the society, and the serial Anupama, directed by Ramesh Kalra, shows various types of marriages. We can interpret that the marriages shown in the Anupama are also present in the society. We see various marriages like Leela character Leela and Hasmukh. It is an arranged marriage, but happy marriage. Anupama and Vanraj had a married life. It was arranged, but it resulted as an unhappy marriage. Kavya and Vanraj, it is a love marriage, but it is unhappy marriage. So we can see that even if you are in a love marriage, it will result a happy marriage. Is not decided. Kinjal and Paritosh are in love marriage, but at present in the serial, their relationship is going through much of hurdles. Nandini and Samar, they are engaged, they are in love. But in their character, we see that uh, they are having the same ideology. They are moving on the same ideology, and we can interpret that their marriage, their love marriage will go a happy marriage because their ideology is matching. Then Anupama and Anuj. Here, Anupama and Anuj, their relationship can be compared with the Jude and Bridehead's relationship. They are unmarried, still they are not in a relationship or going together, but they are together, they are understanding each other, their ideology is matching, which can be compared to Jude and Bridehead. Then Devika. Devika is a friend of Anupama and she is a divorced woman. The serial is also showing that a divorced lady can also be a independent, happy in the society. After divorce, women are facing situations. A lot of society is just asking questions on her character, but still she can be independent. At present in the serial, we are seeing that Anupama is also divorced, but we are seeing that even after divorce and facing so much of that questions by the society, she is trying to fly. This is this Through this we are very greatly able to understand that women can be independent, and it is not necessary that all marriages end to be happy. Here Leela's and Hasmukh marriage can be said as a happy marriage. The reason is Leela was always taught that you have to do what your husband says, and she has always followed. On the contrary, Hasmukh, the Bapuji, is also a very supportive husband. While in Anupama was also trained in the same way, but Vanraj was not a supportive husband. We see that how the characters are shown in the serial and how the marriages are also arranged. Through this, we can very clearly understand what are the status of marriages, how they are important in contemporary era. I would like to conclude with the two reviews. First review is by Shaili Jeffrey in the Jeffries in the Industrial Vagina. She says the traditional elements of marriage have not completely disappeared in the Western society, even in the case of employed, highly educated, and well-paid professional women. She is We can say that she is talking about the situation which is prevailing in today's time. She is arguing that the women who are independent, are well paid, and a great post, still they are not able to come out from an abusive relationship. And the reason is the traditional elements which are constructed in the mind of the women. The women is feared that if she will come, there is a fear that married women feel they have no choice but to stay and endure in this movement. They are not having any choice. It is what women think, but they do have choice. They have to stand for themselves. Then Brain Sower, the Jean Paul and Simone de Beauvoir is a highly profile couple, but still they are highly profile couple, married couple. Still, they have always expressed opposition to the marriage. And Brain Sower says that marriage, understood existentially, proposed to join two free selves into one heading, thus denying the freedom, the complete foundation of each self. Here we can interpret that he is defining the marriage, that what is marriage. In marriage, individual is living the free selves, the individual existence is lost, and what are they doing when they get in the marriage? They are denying the complete foundation of each self. They are denying to themselves, and they are getting into a marriage in which they have to uh, get companion through their personality, through their ideology. They have to completely change themselves, so they are losing their own free self. But these are my work cited, and in the end I would like to say that I personally feel that this institution is not bad. I go with Thomas Hardy's ideology, and this institution is not bad, but the abusion in the relationship of any partner is bad. The marriage should not be in the marriage it is not necessary that both the partners are of same class, brought up in the same atmosphere. But while they are tied in the knot of the marriage, it should be necessarily seen that the ideology of the two partners are same. Thank you.
Yes, good questions.
Why does marriage? Uh, why does marriage respond? Why does marriage matter to the society?
Marriage is mattering to society because today's society is not going to the root that why marriage was actually introduced in the society. They are just saying that it is tradition that women will get married and girl will get married and go to the in-laws house. It is a tradition for them, but they are not going for the reason the why marriage is prevailing in the society. So perhaps they are forcing the youngsters to go for a marriage.
G, according to you, Sue Bride had a love or like Jude, but she was married with a Phillotson. Is it okay to destroy the married life of a Phillotson?
If we are going with the ideology of a Hardy is telling that two people who are in love should stay together. If we see from the eyes of society, it was wrong, because it was wrong as she married to Phillotson in anger, and then she came to Jude. It destroyed the life of Phillotson also, and later again going to Phillotson, destroying the life of Jude. So it is rationally also it is wrong. She should have decided what she wants to do. She didn't decide it. So, but it is right. It is correct to stay with the person you love, but one should decided what she actually wants to do in a practical way.